So, what's the flower full moon? Is the full moon of May, named by the Native Americans for the spring flowers and because it's a time for planting and rapid growth. And no wonder, for this coincides with the Scorpio full moon. And Scorpio represents sex and offspring, and the flowers are the reproductive system of the plant. In Valentine's, we give and receive flowers as an expression of erotic love. And in medical astrology, Scorpio rules the gonads for reproduction and the channels of elimination. So, all things taboo. Scorpio is where the sun don't shine. And it rules the 8th house of death, rebirth, and transformation, where themes of eros, sex, and death, thanatos, arise together like the yin-yang of the cycle of life. In fall, the new moon in Scorpio ushers in decay. 6 months later in spring, the full moon in Scorpio ushers in rebirth. So these are two sides of the same coin. But the moon is at fall in Scorpio because the moon represents our mood and Scorpio is intense. Believe me, I'm one of those. But even if the intensity can be uncomfortable, sometimes it's necessary. Scorpio is the phoenix bird of the zodiac rising from its own ashes, and everyone wants a rebirth, but nobody wants the death that precedes it. Believe me, I see it with patients all the time. Yet, a new life will cost you the old one, and that's a good thing. Scorpio rules the hidden. Scorpio is the bug that sees in the dark, which means in order to change, we have to see the skeletons in the closets, the jealousy, the control, the betrayal, the things that we don't like to look at. But for that, we have to be brave and shed light into it. Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. Mars is the lord of action, sex, and war, is the energy that penetrates to create life or to take it. Pluto, on the other hand, is the therapist of the zodiac, delving into the realms of the unconscious in search for those hidden treasures. Pluto is also the planet of demolition, tearing down before rebuilding. It's small but mighty, and it can be explosive. Now, Mars is not in aspect with the full moon, so it's not affecting it, but is in rulership in Aries, giving it more strength, and with a stellium of 5 planets altogether, pushing for forward momentum, along Mercury, the messenger, and Chiron, the wounded healer. So words can heal or kill. So be mindful, because between what is said and not meant and what is meant and not said, most of love is lost. Food for thought. Now, Pluto is in Aquarius, and the full moon is at 11 degrees, which is an Aquarius degree. And both Aquarius and Scorpio are the rebels of the zodiac, so everybody's going to feel like rebelling. And Pluto is in a challenging square, pushing us towards the transformation that is required for growth and change. And Pluto is also stationing soon to go retrograde, for which we'll re-examine our purpose, our issues with power, control, and our contribution to the collective in the work that you do. So something has to give for something greater to emerge. And as we move through this period, parts of us are dying and other parts are emerging. Now, depending on your sign, where this will manifest in your chart, but we can all feel it. And the full moon forms a yod, aka a finger of God, which is the combination of 2 in conjunctions with a sextile between Venus and Saturn. Venus, aka the lesser benefic, is the goddess of love, harmony, values, and it represents what we love, what brings us joy and pleasure and beauty. Now, Saturn, on the other hand, aka the great malefic, is Kronos, the lord of time and therefore karma. But I like to call it the great teacher because it's in charge of the hard lessons in life. It's the alarm clock that wakes you up in the morning to go to work. It's the one that sets up the deadlines and the schedules. It demands that you pay your dues, but also builds the foundation so you don't build a castle in the air that will collapse on your head. Because Saturn is the planet of matter and structure, is the brick and mortar, and is greatly misunderstood because ultimately Saturn is the planet of manifestation, is the one that bounds energy to matter so it can manifest here in the real world. But how do we reconcile these energies? Venus plus Saturn equals marriage. Venus is love, Saturn is law. And when we do what we love, we enter into the perfect marriage with ourselves through our vocation. Some say that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I say the opposite is true. If you love what you do, you work harder than anybody else to show the world this thing that you love. So the old debate of work to live versus live to work, it doesn't really speak of passion or mission. And yet it's easier said than done, because making a living from your vocation is a steep road. And here's where Saturn steps in and asks you for commitment. Even if it means taking odd jobs to pay the bills while you learn, while you grow, while you pay for school, to build that which you love. Believe me, been there, done that. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The full moon forms a trine with the North Node, our guiding star, and is in Pisces, the sign of spirituality and transcendence, and it makes another supportive trine with Jupiter, the great benefic, exalted in Cancer, the sign where it feels like home. So ultimately, this Scorpio full moon is asking you to dig deep into your soul, strip away everything that is inauthentic that you gather along the way, the conformity, the compromise, the performance, and reconnect with that which you love. Because what you love is your compass, is what aligns you to your mission, and your mission is your sole purpose here on earth. And when we do what we love, we're also nicer to everybody else, and that doesn't hurt. If this resonates with you, subscribe for weekly updates. And if you want to know where this will play out for you depending on your sign up for my weekly horoscopes newsletter at virginiakelly.com/astrology.